Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Summit Area YMCA for the 2026 Summit Area Y Pentathlon. Glad you can join us. This is the boys session, session 2 of this meet. We had the girls early this morning. That ran a little long. We had a couple little hiccups, if you would, and we'll be starting at 2:55. It is 2:55 currently, so we have about 5 minutes. We should see the boys coming down on deck shortly. Real quick, I'll give you a rundown. On the bottom right of your screen, you see the white text there. The events for this session, the boys session, are all even number. So typical swim meets, the girls will be an odd number followed by the boys. So they kept that structure. We'll have even numbers, and you can see the menu of events there. The information is available in an app for your phone or tablet known as Meet Mobile, M-E-E-T, mobile, 2 words. You can download that. You do not need to subscribe to get the data. Summit is publishing it for free. So if you get that, you can then search on swimmers' names or teams. All right. If you have any questions, the chat here in YouTube is open. So if you're on your phone or tablet, computer, you can post a question, comment, and so on there. I will try and keep an eye on that and answer any questions. The pool here, I'm going to start with this view. So the pool, it's a 25-yard pool. All starts will start on this left-hand side. Some swimmers, the younger ones, might not go off the starting blocks. They will start at the edge of the pool on the wall. At the start, I will populate and show the names of the swimmers in the particular race. That is that white text. And on the top right, that orange text is the swimmers that will be up next. In this case, our first event, event number 2, 8 and under 100 freestyle, there's 4 heats. So as soon as the heat number 1 starts, I will update that orange text with the entries for heat 2. And so on. Then you'll get heat 3 and heat 4. So when heat 4 is going, it won't be the swimmers in the next heat, but it'll be the swimmers in the next heat of the first heat of the next event. All right, so if you're not familiar, swimming is broken down into events. That's what you see on the bottom right. That is basically the style of stroke and the distance. And then within that, there are things called heats, H-E-A-T. All right, and the heats are groups of swimmers with similar times. And the way it works is the fastest 6 times are put into a group, and that's the last heat, and it works backwards from there. So you'll see times that it won't have all 6 lanes, and that's purely a math problem, right? So if we don't have something that's divisible by 6, then we'll have situations of maybe only 4 or 3 swimmers. And I'll kind of talk about that when we see it. But in this first one, we happen to have our first event, event number 2, we have 4 heats, and each heat has 6 swimmers, so we have 24 total entries. Now with that, in the information you see the team logo, the lane number, last name, comma, first name, age, team abbreviation, and then you'll see either a time or NT. So the time is their seed time, and that's what's used to group swimmers together. And then some swimmers that have not swum this event will get an NT or no time, and they're put into the first heat. Sometimes you will see coaches will enter an estimated time. So if you see a time like, 1:00:00, potentially that's a made-up time. And you'll also see some things like in our final heat here, swimmers have times all with like 0.26. Again, each coach has a little different way of doing it. If they can estimate the time for a given swimmer of a given event, it's better to put them near swimmers of the same speed. Okay, it helps everybody out. All right. So at the start, I will shut off the name and logos and then transition to a middle of the pool. So they started on that left-hand side. They'll get to this point. The black line is really not halfway up the pool. It's more around where the deep end is. So as you can see on the left side, the start end, that is the deep end. Swimmers will progress down, and then I have a camera down on this right-hand wall, right, where they'll turn. So as they go left to right, that'll be 25 yards. In this first event, which is 100 yards, they need to swim 4 lengths. So terminology, and length is basically 1 left to right or right to left. That's a length. Going down and back is a lap. All right, so 100 yards is 4 lengths of the pool or 2 laps. All right, there's people that will argue that and talk about it. That's how I use it. I use lengths and laps. Okay, it's a 25-yard pool. If I mistakenly say meters at any point, which I hope I don't, A meter is a little longer than a yard. So United States is pretty unique in the sense that we use 25-yard pools. All right. Some high schools, Morristown High School as a point, their pool is actually 25 meters. So, when your kids get older and potentially swim in high school and they swim there, it's a little unique. You'll see the times be a little slower, a little higher number, but that's because it's meters. And then, what's known as long course or a 50-meter pool, the Olympic style pool, that is meters. So if you go down to Rutgers and you see them swim the whole pool, that's a meters pool. Okay. Anybody else has questions or comments, please put them out there. The timing system is in place on this left-hand wall only. On the right-hand wall, there will be hand time or buttons. So it does not have a touchpad in the pool, and we will not get splits on that right-hand wall. All right. That's about it. I have a few other cameras I'll use here and there. I do have a roaming camera. Should we see somebody having a great swim, something interesting, somebody celebrate, I will go to that. Should we need, I also have a camera that's really wide angle. Some people prefer, where is it? It's the wrong camera. Yeah, this is a little wider. So if they're really spread out, I can go here. And then that's about it. All right. Oh, one other thing we might play with this. I do have a camera at the far end. It's remote controlled, so it looks a little jagged or a little robotic. Should we need something down here? So sometimes on like a breaststroke or butterfly, when the kids are getting out of the pool, this gives me the ability to zoom in, see a face, and I jokingly call that grandma cam, because when grandma's watching, more than likely she just wants to see little Tommy swimming, so that's what I might go to. Top left is the scoreboard. I keep that on the whole time. So if you are interested in seeing splits and so on, that provides that. I try and, work around it where it's not in the midst of the swimmers. The only time it potentially gets in the way is when we're on this camera and it's stepping on the swimmers. And should that really become a problem, I can shut it off. But I find most viewers prefer to have it on, and that's why I leave it on the whole time. If you are a big swim fan going on, well, it actually just wrapped up. Today was the high school individual meet of champions. So at the end of the high school swim meet in New Jersey, they have a meet. It's called Meet of Champions. It's down south at GCIT, Gloucester County Institute of Technology. And that just wrapped up. That was on YouTube on a channel called Big State Sports. If you're so interested, you can go and find that. All right, this is event number 2, boys, 100-yard freestyle. I almost said meter. 4 lanes to the pool. We are underway. Ryden, Landon, Denise, Arav, Teddy, and Dalton are in the pool. Lane 1 closest to us. Lane 6, top of the screen. Now that this is underway, on the top right, you'll see the names get updated for the Heat 2 swimmers. Those are the boys on deck. You'll see those behind the blocks as we go back to the other camera. All right, and that's my way. If you're not looking at Meet Mobile or Swimmer Ventures hasn't contacted you and said, I'm in event 2, heat 3, whatever, then that's a way you could see that in advance. Lane 6, first to turn up there, 39.90 for Dalton, 8-year-old from Summit Area Y. Lane 5, a little pause at the wall there. Might not have remembered it's 100. All right, again, lead swimmer, we got to go to this view now. Up here, lane 6, Dalton putting space on the field. We'll stay here for a second, then we'll catch everybody else turning. Dalton having a nice stroke. All right, here's the remainder of the field turning. It'll be 25 to go off that right-hand wall. Let's catch Dalton into the finish. All right, nice job there, 123. And again, he did not have a seed time coming in, so. All right, here comes lane 5 into the finish. That's Teddy. Similar, did not have a seed time. Teddy goes 138. Lane 1, third to the wall. Ryden goes 140. All right. Now he's looking at the scoreboard. So When you finish, you need to stay against the wall so you're not distracting other swimmers. Now, the way this is working, it's not, in a sense, somebody first to the wall in this heat. It's overall top 16 times for a given event will receive points. Those points go to a team scoring and also the high individual for each age group. So a 6, 7, and 8-year-old, there'll be 3 awards for the boys. The high points per age group will also get an award. And then there's team competition in a sense. So as everybody is finishing, you got to remember their time and then ultimately compare it against the times of the swimmers coming in here in heat 2, 3, and 4. So it'll be the top 16 finishes. Will then get points. And it's a declining scale. I should have it up. I don't. All right, this is heat 2. We have Michael, Owen, Shrahan, William, Nerlep, and Teddy. All right, here are the boys at the 50. All right, first to turn there in lane 6, it's Teddy. All right, top right of your screen, those names you see in orange, those are swimmers in heat 3 up next. These will be the swimmers coming in to finish. Looks like lane 6 going to go low time. That's going to be Teddy Reese. Teddy goes 138-ish. Now those dots or the dashes that you see on the scoreboard, that just indicates that the timer behind the blocks there pushed the button and didn't register a touch on the wall. All right, but that's still a valid time. It's not an indication of DQ or anything else. Here we go with heat 3. Names are updated top right for heat 4. We have Brandon, Ethan, Jacob, Preston, Massimo, and Logan. Lane 1 closest to us, lane 6 at the top of your screen. All right, the guy's turning at the 50-yard mark here. We'll be at 75 on this right-hand wall. That is lane 2. Ethan Jin leading out. 25 to go as they turn. All right, and Ethan into the wall there, lane 2. About a 127. Ethan came in on a 138.65 seed time. All right, here we are, final heat. This is, sorry, what's going on? Hold on, we gotta get, names will get updated. These are then to get updated now. All right, sorry about that. This is our final heat. Then we'll have the 50-yard backstroke. All right, in the pool, we have Miguel, Jack, Aaron, Leo, Thomas, and Keon. That is lanes 1 through 6. First to turn there was lane 3, Aaron. All right, as I said, it's the top 16 places, starting with 20. It goes 20 points, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there is a little gradual scale in there. So it goes from 20 to 17 and then drops down. So that first place does carry a little extra bonus. Again, this is the final heat here coming into the finish. Close one between 3 and 4. 3 is Iran, 4 Leo. And it goes to Leo on the board, 122.31. That's almost a full 3-second drop for Leo. He came in 125.26. Nice job. Now to the 50 backstroke. This is event 4, heat 1 of 5. Last race, Miguel in 1 over a second drop. All right, 50 backstroke, down and back, 5 heats here. This is heat 1. All right, so the seating happened yesterday, or I don't know, I'll just say in advance of the meet. So you see on the top right for the heat 2, any of the scratches, there was not what's known as a reseeding, where they would go through and take into account the scratches, because the intent here is with the younger kids that the seating happening in advance, it could all be communicated to the kids and they would have it in advance. If there was a no-show for a swimmer today and the reseating was to occur, it would shuffle up where all the swimmers are. So you're going to see some empty lanes. We had that with the girls, and that's why you'll see in the next race, lane 3 is empty in that heat 2 of 5. All right, so a 50-yard race down and back. That is our lane 4 swimmer, Eddie, leading out. You'll see him, he's under the flags and into the finish here. Eddie goes low time here, 48, 49-ish. Again, when the swimmers don't hit the wall, on the face of the wall solid, that's when you're going to see those dashes. And then you'll see potentially like Eddie's time just popped up 59. That's because maybe his hand or his knee hit the wall now, and it registered that as the touch. But they have stopwatches behind the blocks, and that will be factored into ultimately the finish time for the swimmers. Here we go with heat 2. Names for 3, top right. We have Arav and Gavin in 1 and 2, and then Max, Thomas, and William 4, 5, and 6. Again, 1 closest to us. Test, test. Sorry, microphone just cut out. Lane 1 closest to us. Lane 6 at the top of your screen. All right, low time on the board there, lane 2, Gavin. Again, these swimmers did not come in with seed times, but if you keep an eye on that 45 for Gavin, here's heat 3 entries. You know, we can look at that as we go further down the line of these 5 heats and see where that falls. Again, top 16 getting points. Underway. Heat 3 of 5. Names for 4. Top right. We're coming into the finish. Ryan in 2 looks to go low time here, followed by Eric in 4. Nice job, Ryan, 45.66. That was heat 3. Here we go with heat 4. Names for 5, top right. Gotta apologize there. The PRY, I think that's Princeton Y. I did not get a logo in time for you guys. I apologize. This is heat 4 of 5 in the pool. In this heat, we have Luke, William, Oliver, Michael, Beckett, and Nelson. William in 2's going low. He came in 55.55. We're dropping over 5 on that. Nice job, William. Good job, guys. Final heat, heat 5. Lane 2, empty. 25 breaststroke up next. So the names you'll see in a couple seconds on the top right are the boys in that first heat. We'll have 9 heats up next. That's next. This is heat 5 of 5. 50 back. All right, in this final heat, we have Teddy's in 1. Then we have Oliver, Dylan, Landon, and Marcel, 3 through 6. That is our lane 3 swimmer, Oliver, first to turn at the far side. Nice turn, though, for Dylan in 4. You see how he got off the wall. What did we see earlier? I think we saw 45. So it looks like these guys will have low time for this event. Nice job there. Lane 4, Dylan goes low, 42.95, dropping almost 5 off a 47.46 seed. Nice job. And then Oliver follows that, 43.37, dropping half a second off of 43.97. All right, so that's going to be final race for this event number 4. We'll go to event 6, which is 25-yard breaststroke. As you see, left-hand side, all the timers will be going down to the far end of the pool with this 25-yard race. We have 9 heats here. take a look behind the block since we have a few seconds. Sorry, sir. Zooming in. We should have 3 swimmers, Wells, Luke, and Roman. That was towards the bottom of your screen, Wells. Here's Luke. Over this way, Luke. Look this way. All right. See, Luke's checking his race. See on his arm there? That's there it is. That's the swimmer's tattoo. He's moving too quick for me. There it is, swimmer's tattoo. So that'll say event number, heat number, and then lane number right there. All right. And this is Roman. All right. This is heat 1 of 9. All right, so the official just calling out down the far end to verify the timers are in the correct place. They didn't get lost. Top right are the entries for heat 2. Again, 1 length of the pool, 25-yard breaststroke. Right, I'm going to go to this camera. We'll see how well this works. So that's my control, but not very good, but works for 3 lanes. Soon enough, everything will be artificial intelligence and I will be obsolete. So for the time being, I will try and steer this view, and as the guys go into the wall, they'll be finishing there on that side. All right. So at that far side, there's not touch pads. The timers behind have a button which is tied into the system. So that'll give us an official time. Previously, lane 6 didn't have a button, so that's not correct. All right, these names should be now correct for heat 2. That's Eugene in 1, Bertie in 2, Wyatt, Landon, and Lev 4-5. 3-4-5, sorry. Low time, looks like lane 1, Eugene goes sub 30. Nice job, Eugene. Up there in 5 goes 30-61. Nice job, Lev. All right. That was our heat 2. Here's our nice. All right, the names will refresh. That is our lane 5 swimmer up there. Ryden coming in. Looks to go low there, 33-11. Nice job, dropping off at 39-48. Big improvement. Okay, we'll go back to start here. Here we go with heat 4. Great time there in lane 4. That is Tyler. Came in 36.6. He goes 26.32. That's a 10 plus. Nice swim, Tyler. Way to drop time as a 7-year-old. Tyler out of Greater Somerset County YMCA. Let's go back to the start for the next heat. Here we go with heat 5. Names for 6, top right. Harvey William Beckett. Uri, Teddy, and Elijah are your swimmers here in this heat 5. Sorry, jumped the gun. Names for 6 are updated top right. 5 of 9 in the pool. Lane 1, lane 4. Lane 1 is Harvey. Lane 4, Yuvraj. Looks like Yuvraj goes low, 25.86. Nice swim. Looks like a 6.5 second improvement off of 32.28. Good job, guys. That was 5. We'll go back for heat 6. Names for 7, top right. Six of 9 in the pool. Leading out there, Jaden Lamb in 3. Came in on a 30.01. We're dropping that, breaking that 30 barrier. Nice job, 26.97. Couple other 28s on the board there. 28.88, 28.98. Nice job there. Davidesh and Thomas. $26.97 though. Nice job, Jaden. We'll go back for heat 7 swimmers. Seven of 9. All right, we had a no-show in 2. Names on the top right are the heat 8, but in the pool we have Andy. 2 is empty. Leo and Charlie, 3 and 4. And Logan and Durov in 5 and 6. Looks like our lane 4 swimmer, Charlie. He goes low, 25.75. Dropping almost 3 seconds off 28.73. Nice improvement. That was heat 7. Here we are with heat 8. Names for 9, top right. In the pool here with heat 8, Preston, Avon, Sam, Massimo, Dalton, and Kian. Low time on the board there, lane 3, Sam, right on his seed. Came in 24.82. That's an awesome time coming in. He goes 24.50. All right, back to the start. Final heat. Why is that? All right, these names will get updated. Here, they're correct now. Final heat. Music's on. Somebody's going to be getting a prize in this last heat. Then we have 50 freestyle. Those names you'll see on the top right in a couple seconds. Looks like lane 2 is going to be taking home the prize. Ethan Jin came in 23.88. We're improving on that. 21.99. Nice swim, Ethan. Across the board, nice job, guys. Miguel in 1, dropping second and change. 21.99. I think Ethan's going to be taking home the 20 points plus a prize on that hot lap, as it's called. So when you hear music, they will be giving away prizes. All right. As the timers make their way back, we're going to move to event 10, 50-yard freestyle. We're going to have 3 swimmers get a little insight into the guys' warm-up routines, pre-race rituals. They do not see themselves. We do not broadcast this in-house, if you're wondering. He's just looking at the scoreboard. There we go. So we should. Lane 2 is Evan, 4 John, and then Wells in 5. All right, this is event number 10, 50-yard freestyle, down and back, 2 lengths of the pool. All right, the guys are in the pool. Names for heat 2, top right. This is 1 of 10. So you can see down the bottom, we're going to have 25 back. Our next event. All right, bringing it home here in this 50 free. Event number 10, heat 1 of 10. John goes low time there. I didn't see, that's better than that 55 on the board. Again, just didn't get a clean touch. So with the younger kids coming into the wall, need to put a little force for it to recognize, and we have a lot of instances when it doesn't, and that's when we have those dashes. Heat 2, Eugene, Birdie, Franco, Lev, Harrison, and Gavin. All right. So that, unfortunately, that was the get ready whistle. All right, the guys are underway. Heat 2 of 10. I hear music. Somebody's walking away with the prize. Looks like lane 5, Harrison, first to turn at that far end. See if he brings it home on the final 25 here. Eugene in 1. And we have Gavin up in 6. I think Harrison's going to hold off. Nice swim, though. 38.69. Awesome swim. Did not come in on a seed time, but now he has an awesome seed time. Okay, that was our heat 2. Everybody home. Here we are with heat 3. Everybody's seed time in this race, or everybody has a seed time, and it's all around a minute. Heat 3 underway. Luke, Owen, Eric, Ethan, Wyatt, and Cormac. Names for 4 already updated, top right. That's Owen in 2, first to turn, followed by Wyatt in 5. Good turn there in 3 was Eric, as the guys making their way home for the finish. Owen still leads in 2. And Owen's gonna go low time. Came in 1:00.65. He's blowing through that. 47.73. Nice job, Owen. Now, folks, I'm not saying, Owen won. Owen, in a sense, he wins this heat. But it's all about the final top 16 or the final seeding or the final times relative to everybody else in the field. So just wanted to be clear on that. So this is now heat 4 of 10. Why is that? Okay, so these names were correct as I put them on. This is 4 of 10. Names for 5, top right. And again, with some swimmers not having seed times, within a given heat, this is kind of, as I say that, this is kind of a good example. All these guys had seed times which are very close. So we can see kind of, who's having a good effort here relative to the 5 other swimmers. But in a sense, they're not competing head to head. So, okay, just want to clarify that. Again, this is heat 4 of 10. Andy, Roman, Liam, Colton. We have an empty lane in 5, and then we have Luke in 6. Speaking of Luke in 6, he's going low time. Came in 57.06. He goes 48 something. Nice swim, 9-second improvement. Again, unofficially until we get stopwatch time. I think he's better than that 54, though. Nice job. That was heat 4. Here's our swimmers for heat 5. Names for 6, top right. Five of 10 in the pool. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. I think I did, but the way the seating works is we're going to go from slowest to fastest. So as we progress through, the seed times will get faster, or in a sense of time, will be less time. Deruve in 1 looks to be going low here. He came in 50.26. We're dropping 7+ seconds on that. Great swim. That was 5. Here we go at 6. Yash, Harvey, and Charlie, 1, 2, 3. William, Nerlep, and Cody, 4, 5, 6. Again, this is heat 6 of 10. Here are the guys coming into the finish. That's 2 and 3. Harvey and Charlie battling it out. Looks like Harvey goes low there, 42-42. Nice improvement off of 48-92. That's 6.5 seconds. Awesome. Here we go, heat 7. So as you can see, kind of the speed's picking up here as we progress through in this heat 7 of 10. That is Jaden in 3. Jaden goes low time there. 40, probably a little bit better than that 40-65. Came in on a 44-50. So about a 4-second improvement. Here we are, heat 8 of 10. Names for 9, top right. Big front half there in lane 4, Ethan Jin. Followed closely, keep an eye up there in 6, Avum. Ethan's gonna bring it home. Came in 43 flat. Swims 5 seconds faster than that, 37.74. That was 8. Here we are with 9. Lane 2 empty. Names for 10, top right. As you can see, we're getting into some impressive seed times here. 36 is in that next heat. Just for throw it out there, if anybody was curious or wondering, at the high school all-star meet today, I think Wasco or Jaden Lee, one of them went 20.23 or 20.3 in this same 50 free. So if you just want a point of reference, a very talented high school time to win the kind of the state individual was a 20.2, 20.3. That is lane 3. Keon going low, 39.17. Here we are, the final heat. Heat 10. We have a 25 coming up next, so. We'll have a short break as the timers make their way after this heat 10. Low seed Leo DeLuca, 36.81. He's in lane 3. He looks first to turn. Followed closely there by 2, Oliver. Music's on. Who's going to bring home a gift? Wow, keep an eye. Lane 5, Iran. All right, but lane 3, Leo goes low. 35.88, improving on his time. He's going sub 36. Almost a full second improvement. Nice job, Leo. Make sure you pick up your gift. That's going to wrap up this 50-yard freestyle. We have 25 backstroke, 10 heats. So 20, 20. So this meet, in a sense, it's pretty short. As you see on the bottom right, the different things, but we should be finishing up about 4:40. It is 3:40 right now, so about an hour left of swimming. Again, the chat's open. If anybody wants to put a comment, question, feedback, shout out to any of the swimmers, feel free, put it in there. I'll try and keep an eye on that. Here's our 3 swimmers here. Should have Eugene, Wyatt, and Franco. Eugene closest to us. There's Wyatt. And there's Franco. See, so there's a swim tattoo, right? So event, heat, and lane, EHL. All right. Again, this is heat 1 of 10, 25 backstroke, 1 length of the pool. Splash and dash, if you would. All right. Since we have 3 swimmers, we'll kind of get up close and personal here. Right to left is Eugene, Wyatt, and Franco, lanes 2, 3, and 4. All right. All right, Eugene reaching for the wall. Nice job. All right, no harm there. Just trying to learn seeing the flags above them. So you'll see red as the lane lines go to red is where the flags are. And swimmers need to kind of build that confidence to know where the wall is. Here we go with heat 2. This is heat 2 of 10. Looks like that's Wells in 1. Looks like Wells goes low, 27.28. That's I can't. I'm doing the math. It's like a 7-8 second improvement. Nice job. Maybe 9, because 27 to a 36. Nice job. This is heat 3. All right, top of your screen. That's 4 and 6, close to the wall. William in 4, Denez in 6. It's a little hard to see on the board. And lane 6 earlier did not have a button, so we weren't seeing the scoreboard. We weren't seeing the scoreboard stopping for that case. Here we go with heat 4. Names for 5, top right. Lane 5 looks to go first to the wall. That is Devanesh. Came in 27-13, goes 25-30. This is heat 5 of 10. Yeah. This is 5. All right. All right. All right, so the official said relax. All right, now we're ready to go. Five in the pool, names for 6, top right. Close one here. Lanes 2 through 6. Maybe lane 2. Well, shows on the board as 3, 23.85. That is John. 2.5 second drop for John. Nice job with heat 6 now. I hear music, maybe a gift. So it's known as a hot heat. So the host team here, Summit, giving away gifts. That is lane 4, Eddie. Looks like he's going home with the gift. Eddie goes 22.47. Nice drop off 24.90. That's almost 2.5 seconds. That was our heat 6. Back to the start for heat 7. Oliver, Roman, Andy, Logan, Matthew, and Sam. Seven of 10 is in the pool. Names for 8, top right. 6, 5, and 4, top of the screen, coming home. Looks like lane 5, 21. Oh, we have a tie. 5 and 4. Unfortunately, 6 wasn't in the mix, only because we don't have a button there. 21-21. Somebody play those numbers tonight for. I got to go back to the start. This is heat 8. So that lane, heat 7 was Matthew and Logan, both dropping a significant amount of time, over 2 seconds. 3 seconds for Matthew, to be exact. Good job, guys. Eight's in the pool. Names for 9, top right. Had a tie earlier this morning in the girls' session, so low time 21:39. So you see there the previous heat, whatchamacallit, had a better time than this one, so could factor into the overall top 16 to get points. All right, let's keep an eye on that 21-21. Don't know if that'll hold up for top time, but all right, into the finish here. 21:10, just edges it. Kean, so looks like Kean, the leader, as we say, the leader in the clubhouse. One other, sorry, that's really loud, folks. One other heat to go. You see the seed times here. One swimmer bringing in a seed time better than that 21:21. This is our final heat. Music's on. We'll see who's going to bring home a prize. It's going to be close. Got to keep an eye. Lane 6 doesn't have a scoreboard, but looks like lane 2 takes it. 20:40 for Jacob. Nice drop off of 21:60. So that 21:21, it's going to be a top 5, top 6 time unofficially, but good job, guys. So that's going to wrap up these 25s. We'll have all the timers come back to the start end, and we'll move on to event 14, 100-yard breaststroke. Take a look behind the blocks for the swimmers getting ready. Should have Ethan, Aaron, Oliver, and Marcel. Ethan likes the music, getting a little pumped up. Quick consult with the coach. All right, as you see the timers coming back into frame there. Here's the lane assignments for this 100-yard breaststroke. Heat 1 of 1. Then we have 2 heats of the 50 butterfly, and then those timers got to make the walk again. And this is, again, heat 1 of 1. 100-yard breaststroke. All right, I'm going to go to this camera since we have only a few swimmers. Oh, look at that glare. All right, so this is going to be 4 lengths of the pool. We'll go to this wall. This will be 50 down, 50 to go. 50 yards, that is. Again, this is heat 1 of 1 for this 100 breaststroke. Then we'll have 2 heats for the 50-yard butterfly up next. All right, here's our lead 3 swimmers. One swimmer off frame to the left. That is the swimmer, Gavin. Sorry, no, it's not Gavin. He's next. We'll jump back to that lane 5 shortly. That is Ethan goes low time. Came in 157. He goes 145. Ariane came in 152. He also goes 145. Oliver's right on his seed. And Marcel coming into frame. Where's Marcel? There he is. right, nice job. All right, next up. My sheet is all messed up. Oh, here we are. Wait, those names are not right. Sorry, folks. I was one step ahead. Let me show you the names. These are the names of the swimmers in the pool. Harvey, Teddy, and Gavin. I apologize. All right, this is heat 1 of 2. Harvey, Teddy, and Gavin swimming the 50 butterfly. Left side of your screen is Gavin. In the middle is Teddy, and to the right is Harvey. They'll be coming into the finish here. .54, a little bit better than that for Gavin. That was heat 1 of 2. Here we are with heat 2 of 2. .25-yard freestyle. After this, we'll have 10 heats. Entries in heat 1, top right. All right, no show here in lane 1. We'll give you this view. They'll be coming. Not great, but Miguel, Thomas, and Oliver, 2, 3, and 4. One of these swimmers will be getting a prize. All right, afternoon sun getting really tough here. All right, looked like Thomas goes low time there. I didn't get a clean look of his time. All right, 25-yard freestyle coming up. Three swimmers, Eugene, Cormac, and Franco. All right. Timers will be making their way to the other end of the pool. All right, we'll take a look behind. We should have Eugene, Cormac, and Franco. Thank you, Eugene. I guess he saw me pointing the camera at him. All right, I think the timers are at the far end of the pool. If anybody's out there and want to give a shout out to any of the swimmers, please feel free to put it in the chat. It is open. So on YouTube, under the main viewing frame, you should have a chat button. This is heat 1 of 10. 25-yard freestyle. I guess this is more the proverbial splash and dash. All right, Eugene in 2 did not come in with the seed time. going sub 20. Nice job, Eugene. 17.99, sub 18. Awesome. So perspective on that would have put him in heat 10, the final heat. So he was in this top. If that was his seed time coming in, they would be in the top 10 times. Nice job. That was heat 1. We'll go back to the start. Here's our swimmers for heat 2. Now, you might be wondering why there's open lanes. So we had 3 swimmers in the previous one. If we had taken 2 of them and put them in this heat, we'd have a single swimmer. So the software that manages all the alignment and groupings takes that into consideration. You don't want somebody swimming just by themselves. Two in the pool, names for 3, top right. Evan, Luke, Wyatt, and Wells. That looks like lane 4 going low there. Wyatt came in 28.37, and he goes 24.7. Nice improvement. All right, freestyle as the shout from above. Is this right? This isn't right. Shucks. I'm just getting slow here, folks. Here we go at heat 3. These names should be now correct. It's 25s. I got to move quick. Heat 3 in the pool. Names for 4, top right. That is lane 3, Roman. Going 21.42. Nice job, Roman. Came in 24.17. Nice heat 3. Good swim across the board, guys. We'll go back for heat 4. Names for 5, top right. Michael. Lane 2 is Michael. Lane 1 is empty. Then we have Tyler, Theo, Liam, and John. Lane 6, John up there, came in 24.10. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a stop on that, but we swam around to 22. We'll have to go check on the official times. On the board, the low time, 21.57. Was lane 3. That was Tyler. Here's heat 5. Matthew, Colton, Denise, Leo, Eddie, and Vodarish. That is lane 4, Leo. Oh, lane 1, sorry. Close one, 2044, 2068, lane 1. Matthew goes low, dropping over 2 seconds off of 22.49. Here we are, heat 6. We're on to the final printed last page. 350. Heat 6. This is underway in heat 6. Names for 7, top right. In the pool with the music playing. Somebody's getting a gift. William, Cody, Dhruv, Andy, Arvav, and Owen. It's going to be 3 or 5. Looks like lane 3 goes low. Nice job. 1994. Dropping time, breaking the 20 barrier. Dhruv. Pardon if I'm mispronouncing that. Nice job. It's like a 3-way win. He dropped time, he broke 20, and he's getting a gift. This is heat 7. It's a win-win-win, as they say. Boys are in the pool. Ryan, Davinesh, Chase, Nerlep, Preston, and Lev are your Heat 7. Lane 1 going fast. Ryan flying, sub 18, 1780. Nice job. He came in 21-26. Ryan from West Morris YMCA. This is Heat 8. We have Roman, Teddy, Logan, Urav, Oliver, and Max. Maybe lane 5, a little hard to tell. 1863 there for Oliver, nice job. It's over a second drop off a 1997 seed. He goes low. Hometown guy, Summit Area YMCA. This is 9 of 10. Boys are underway. Ryden, William, Jack. 4 is empty. Then we have Massimo and Brandon. Three and 5. Looks like lane 3's going low, and he does. 1785 for Jack. Nice drop there. Came in on an already impressive 1822. Final heat. Low seed Harrison in 3. I think I explained it though. The lane 3 will always have the lowest seed time of a given heat. And then lane 4, and it fans out from there. So lane 4 having a great swim here. Leo DeLuca came in 1625. We didn't get a 1602. Maybe, I don't know, it seemed a little slow on the touch there. Again, there's no touchpad, so we're relying on human response there. All right, that's the final 25, so. All right, let's go back to the start, and here we go. 100-yard backstroke. 3 swimmers, Charlie, Miguel, and Landon in this first heat. So on those clipboards, you see the timers have in their hands. That has all the names of the swimmers for that given lane. So you'll see that when swimmers come up, they will consult with them and make sure they're in the right place. All right, this is 100-yard backstroke, heat 1 of 1. Since we have 3 swimmers, we'll take a little closer view here. This is event 20. Again, it's 1 of 1. So the names you'll see on the top right are the first entries in 22, which is a 50 breaststroke up next. So this will be 4 lanes of the pool. Cindy, glad you can join us from Huntsville, Alabama. Glad you're with us today. Hopefully a little warmer for you than it was here. We had flurries this morning. All right, halfway point of this 100 back. You can see the splits there, 51. Did not get a turn in lane 2 for Charlie. That's just possibly he was off center or too low. So the touch pads only have they're about 2 feet deep, 5 feet wide. All right, we'll stay with our lead 2 swimmers, then we'll go back and pick up Landon in lane 4. They're at 75 yards now. They got 25 to go. Here's a wide view. So lead swimmers coming across, going right to left. 2 will be finishing here, and we'll pick up Landon making his way back. He'll have 25 to go on the right wall. This is a finish here for Miguel and then Charlie. So about a 144 for Miguel. And again, so the top of those pads where their fingers are is not sensitive, just the face of it. So that's why we're not getting the clock to stop. And this is Landon making his way. He'll have 25 to go as he turns back. Right. Landon is 6-year-old, so this 100 back, pretty adventurous. Again, this is heat 1 of 1. Then we'll go to 50 breaststroke. We have 2 heats there, and those are the names you see top right. Nice job, Landon. All right, let's go ahead overhead. This is 50 breaststroke down and back. Heat 1 of 2. Max, Sam, Massimo, Gavin, Teddy, and Nelson. Hey, speak of that, Cindy, good timing. Here's Sam. Again, this is heat 1 of 2. All right, halfway mark at that part, 25 down, 25 to go. All right, guys coming into the wall here. A lot of guys did not have seed times. Impressive sub 1s there, 53 for Max, 55 for Sam. Nice job, guys. Good job. A lot of sub 1s. That's a great swim there for 7 and 8-year-olds. Awesome. That was heat 1 of 2. Here's our entries for heat 2 of 2. After this, 25 butterflies, so we'll have a short break as the timers make their way back to the other end. Nice start there in lane 2, good reaction. In the pool, Marcel, Ethan, Urav, Iron, Shran, and Brandon. All right, we're into the finish. Low times and a go to Ethan. Came in on a 54.11 seed. What goes 47.82. Nice swim. few more sub-1 times there. Nice job, guys. All right, it is 4:15 real time. This particular, on the original schedule, we're about 15 minutes off that. So as I page down, yeah, so 4:30. Yeah, so we have 4 o'clock. Yeah, we only have about 20 minutes of swimming here. So we have event 24, we have 10 heats. And that should approximately only take about 10 minutes. And then we have 3 heats on the 100 IM. So again, glad you could join us today. This is Mike Common Guy Sports. We have 3 swimmers here. Let's take a look. We have Luke, Eugene, and Birdie. I don't know if we're waving at me or not. Luke getting there, Eugene here, sorry, in the middle, getting his work in. Okay, here we are. 3 swimmers. Heat 1 of 10, 25-yard butterfly, 1 length of the pool. All right, the guys are underway. Try and catch a. We'll catch him here. A little glare, but get in front of him a little. All right, they'll be finishing on that wall. Eugene goes low, time 24:78. These guys did not have seed time, so now they do. Next time they swim this, they'll have a seed time. Back to the start. Cormac, Wyatt, Franco, and Colton. Sorry, I'm a little slow here, folks. All right, names are updated for Heat 3. This is Heat 2 finishing up. Lane 2, Cormac's going low. Came in 41.72, big improvement on that. That's 8 seconds. 8.3 something. Nice job. Back to the start for Heat 3. Roman, Cody, Elijah, Landon, Liam, and Owen. Again, this is Heat 3 of 10. Roman in 1 looks to go low time here. And with the music, looks like he'll be taking home a prize. 29.15. Way to break the 30 mark. Roman came in 37.20. That's awesome. 29.15, lane 1 is Roman. That's it. Back to the start. We'll give you this. As the music plays, Heat 4. Vadarash, Michael, Marcel, Roman. 5 is empty, and Eric in 6. Looks like Michael in twos going to take low time here, and he does. 29.05. Also breaking the 30 barrier. Nice job. Came in 32.70. Back to the start here for Heat 5. We have Yash, Luke, Chase, Beckett, Evan, and Tyler. Underway with our Heat 5. Names for 6, top right. Keep an eye, lane 6, top of your screen. Again, we don't have a plunger, so the scoreboard won't stop. Looks like he's going to go in 24 and change, though. Maybe 25. That was Tyler. Came in 31.72. Great swim there. This is Heat 6 of 10 now. Devinash, Lev, Ryan, Denez, Theo, and Dhruv are your swimmers here in 6 of 10. Lane 6 looks like he's following it up. Another great swim up there. Lane 6, Dhruv, there he is, 22-23 something. That's an awesome swim, dropping off at 28-26. Again, unofficial, but that's those names aren't right. These should be right. The logos will pop up slowly. Sevens in the pool: Charlie, William, Sam, Jaden, Andy, and Oliver. The names for 8, top right. Lane 3, Sam having a great one, 24.89 seed. We're dropping a bunch on that, 21.42, 3.4. Nice drop, Sam. This is Heat 8 now. In the pool, Ryden, Leo, Thomas, Eddie, Nerlep, and Teddy. Names for 9, top right. Couple empty lanes there. So, what was Teddy? 21.42, I guess. Sam, look at that time, at 20.57, lane 5. That's a 4-second drop for Nerlep. Came in 24.61. So that's going to be the low time. I was looking back, 21.42 was Sam's time. All right, so Sam's getting points. That 20.57, definitely the low time so far. Better than any seed time. No, I'm sorry. I have a couple of 8. Wait, this is 9 of 10. I'm sorry. It's not the last heat. 9 of 10 in the pool. Let me get you the names for Heat 10 of 10. Looking forward, we have a couple 18s. Now you see those on the top right. Leo and Thomas bringing in strong times. All right, lane 6. Clock's not going to stop up there for Avum, but he was right around that same 22 time. So again, looking back, Sam's 21.42 holding up. All right, back to the start. Here we are for the final heat. And I say holding up, meaning kind of top 2, 3, 4. And again, top 16 get points, but obviously higher you are in that order, the more points you're pulling. So All right, this is the final of the 25 fly. Jacob, Dalton, Leo, Thomas, Brandon, and Dylan. Lane 4 brings it home, 1797. All right, nice improvement there. Thomas came in 1867. It's 3/4 of a second improvement. That's huge. And a 1970 and 18.8. Nice job, guys. All right, so that's going to end the 25. We have a 100-yard IM. We have 3 heats here. If anybody's jumping off, glad you could join us today. Yay, Sam, I agree. Great job. All right, Cindy. Glad you could join us. Been to Huntsville? Rocket City, right? Spent a lot of time in Atlanta and drove across past Talladega going to Birmingham. Pretty interesting ride when we stopped in the middle of the, I think it was like 2 a.m. and then all of a sudden we were like, you can't like just stare at this empty big old track. So, but glad you can join us today and hopefully bring you more meets in the future. This is the event 26 final event. Boys 8 and under, 100-yard IM, 3 heats. Now, I guess while I had time, I should have done this. Sorry. We'll take a pan down. Dalton, Harvey, Landon, Gavin, Jaden. I missed somebody. Dalton, Harvey, Landon, Gavin, Jaden, Nelson. It's funny. 5 out of the 6 names end with an N. I had the girls earlier, and again, I apologize, Nelson there from Princeton. I don't know why my logo didn't work. So the girls, I had all names ending with A, so maybe that's just the trend. I had 5 out of 6 boys' names ending with N here. So 100-yard IM. As you can see, the boys starting off with the butterfly. Then we'll go backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle. Names for Heat 2, top right. All right, Cindy, now you're rubbing it in, 74 there. My mom lives in North Carolina, and she kind of was doing it's really nice here, and then it snowed on her. So she's chosen to not brag about the weather. So just as a fair warning, I don't know if you did get snow out of that last craziness that hit Florida and so on. But all right, halfway done. Now we have breaststroke and freestyle to go. Lead swimmer all the way ready at the right-hand side. Lane 3, that is Landon. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Landon's on the front half here. All right, lead swimmer, lane 1, freestyle to go. Followed by lane 5, Jaden. And then we have 2 and 6, Harvey, and then Nelson. All right, we'll take a wide view here. We have a finish here, lane 1, Dalton. Did not have a seed time. All right, Dalton goes 1:36:45. Nice swim. He's followed by lane 5, Jaden. All right, the dashes, again, just not an issue. It's just that the backup was used. All right. So our lane 3 swimmer, Landon, he's just finished 50. We have breast and free to go. Landon, the only 6-year-old entered here. All right, again, this is heat 1 of 3. The names you see top right are your heat 2 swimmers. All right, 25 to go here for Landon. Nice job, Landon. Nice camaraderie there. Gavin in 4. Nice job. Way to be, buddy. Here we are, heat 2. Second to last race. All right, we are underway in the pool. Narlep, Teddy, Yujav, Tyler, Kian, and Shrahan. All right, the guys will be wrapping up the butterfly, going to backstroke here at that right-hand wall. So this stream will be available to watch later tomorrow, next week, provided Google doesn't shut down YouTube next year, 2 years from now. So first to turn there in lane 5 at the halfway mark is Keon. Breaststroke and then freestyle. I'm going to shut that scoreboard off just so we can see a couple swimmers. I'll put it back on in a second. All right. 25 to go off this right-hand wall, just freestyle home. This camera's turned a little gold on me. I don't know why. Okay, into the finish. This is Keon in 5. Nice job, a 1:44.41. That's, I don't know, 22nd improvement off a 2:07.13 seed. Nice swim. A couple other guys breaking the 2:00 barrier, too. Nice job. All right. 2:05 on the outside for Shrahan. I didn't update these. These names will flash real quick. They'll be accurate in a second. Now they're good. All right, lane 6 in that last. Shrahan came in 2:19. He went like a 2:03, 2:04. That's a huge improvement. Final race. The music's on. Somebody's getting a gift. All right, it is 4:34 here. So with the little delayed start, we were able to hold schedule. So kudos, that's the word we're looking for, to the officials and all the volunteers. Makes this meet happen. All right, here we come in the backstroke under the flags. Hopefully we see a face or two. All right, breaststroke freestyle to go. Logan, Oliver, and Dylan, Ariane, Preston, and Uvem. All right, here they are from that other angle. We'll just take you wide so you can see. This is our lead group, lane 3. Dylan, first to turn. We have freestyle to go, closely followed by Oliver. And then further away from us up there in lane 4, Iron. And here they are into the finish. Looks like Dylan's gonna hold on to it, lane 3. And he goes low there, about a 1:33.34. He's better than that 1:35. He had low time. So I think he'll be collecting all the points and the gift there. Nice job. Again, WFY, Whitecoff Family YMCA is home for Dylan. All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. It's really a pleasure to bring this to you. we're going to kind of be wrapped up here. Maybe back for the summer with Summit Area Y. I will be covering a couple meets. One is the New Jersey Golds, 10 and under. I don't know if any swimmers will be attending that. And then I will be covering the older kids, New Jersey Golds, and that's more of a early summer, late spring, early summer. But that's the from Rutgers is where that meet will be. That's what I was trying to think of. All right. So that's it, folks. We're going to wrap up. Again, the stream's available to rewatch. Always open for questions, comments, feedback. So you can reach us via email, Common Guy Sports NJ. All one big word, Common Guy Sports NJ. And at gmail.com. That's it. All right. Signing off. Mike, Common Guy Sports. See you soon.